Hi people, I recently got Sulphurous, Hand of Ragnaros, and of course spec'd over to Enhancement. I started gathering the gear and realized I need pieces from Blackrock Depths, mainly Hand of Justice and hopefully the chest as well. So I gathered a group with some guildies and we did Angerforge a lot of times, and I got nothing. But I remembered seeing some videos where mages or hunters farm Angerforge, so I decided to go back to Elemental and try it myself. Now, normally for these videos, I write a script and then I read from the script. But in this video, I'm gonna try and just comment it while watching it, instead of writing a script. We'll see how that turns out. So, as you can see, you need the key, you run inside. I have pretty good gear, by the way, I'll show you that in the end. I try and skip as much as I can. You also need invisibility potions. Now for this pack I just run straight into it and use whatever the name of the, not that totem, wait for it, that totem is, the Stoneclaw. That will aggro them and I can keep running. And then as I approach this window, jump out of it and wait until it resets. Now the jump you need to do here is a bit tricky, and if you have a pretty dark game like I have, I suggest you make it more bright so you can see properly. I'm always a bit paranoid over falling down, but that's have never happened. So I wait until the combat drops, and then you need to continue the jump section. It's a bit tricky, but it can be done. And I think I realized that my totem or something was messed up, but I released combat there. Also, if you slam down an Earthbind totem, make sure to remove it when you're out. As you can see, I did the jumps pretty flawlessly, then you jump down here through the roof onto the non-existing floor. And as you can see, I have both lesser and normal invisibility pots. They cost about the same, they don't share cooldown, and the only difference is how long they last. Lesser last for 15 seconds and the normal for 18. You run past the mobs and the safe spot is about here, by the wall. Now the pack right by the stair, the Marshal and the whatever it's called, the Dragoon, you need to kill them first. And it's tricky because you cannot do the jump easily, at least, without aggroing them. But there you see how I did it. You just jump, you land right beneath it, then you don't move at all, you just jump and then you press forward in air. Now right here I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to kill the Marshal and the Dragoon. Because I need to clear the pack that I've targeted as well, and I don't want to pull too many at once. So about here I'm going to stop the timer and just stop the recording and think for a bit, but you won't notice that at all. So as you just saw, I started the timer again, and I decided that I'm going to shoot at the Marshal, because he heals, for a couple of lightning bolts, and then I'm going to jump down, pop my elemental mastery and try and blow him up. Now I used a shock too early, so I didn't have time to use it at the same time with elemental mastery, and I didn't have time to interrupt it due to the cooldown. So here I just run around and try and make the jump to buy some time, heal myself and keep killing the Marshal. I'm quite sure I mess up here actually, because one of these mobs run into another one. The Marshal dies, and then I line of sight the Dragoon to heal myself. Now when you line of sight the Dragoon and he gets in melee range, he's gonna start beating you. And they deal more damage in melee range, so be careful with that. I get up and he's gonna start shooting me soon again, and I can start shooting him. You just exchange lightning bolts for arrows. And as you can see, I've placed down Windwall Totem that reduces ranged damage taken. It's pretty good and I recommend that you use it as well. I just keep trying to push it all the way before healing myself. And there I felt like it was getting too dangerous. Here I start downranking the bolts. And here I just try and regain some mana, dragging out this fight. You could have of course used superior mana potions or something if you had them. Here I get really lucky with 3 rank 4 shots, they all crits. Maybe this isn't the run where I fuck up. Anyway, loot him. And now you make the jump again and you mana up and you drink up. I think I'm just going to cut out this drinking eating section from the video because it's not very fun to watch. Alright, so I decided I almost had enough mana. I placed down my mana spring totem. As you can see, it takes about 5 minutes to get this far, and the gear requirement is quite high for it. You could however make up for that by just being 2 instead of 1, perhaps have a friend help you. I start this fight out by throwing, well, normally I throw 1 lightning bolt and then 1 chain lightning, because the lightning bolt takes time to travel and the chain lightning is instant, so they hit at the same time. And then I target the Marshal because he heals and try and just down him. Throw in some chain lightnings to hit both targets and just deal much damage. Try and get him as close as I can, and then either get up on this ledge and keep shooting at him, or you do the jump but stay halfway up, so to speak. Then they'll run back and you can just jump up again. So I down him. Sometimes you get 2 marshals from this pack and then they heal each other, and that's just very annoying. Also, the different types of mob have slightly different running speed, so if you take too long they're just gonna spread out and you don't have them moving in packs, and no matter what you do, there's always gonna be one smacking you. Now the Marshal isn't dead here, I think, he's just almost dead. Pop Elemental Mastery and down the Fire Elemental. Now it's time to deal with the Dragoon. You can also use Fire Resistance Totem against that Fire Shot, whatever it's called. A big part of this fight, and there I used the wrong spell, a big part of this fight is sadly to just run back and forth, juggling them, trying to regain mana. You could of course bring mana potions and just drink them instead, but I didn't do that. Also, after this fight, if you're a troll at least, you don't want to heal all the way up, and the reason for that will become obvious later. So I just keep waiting for mana to regenerate. Probably gonna edit this out as well, or at least a bit of it. Note how they shoot at you either from, well, where they're standing now, or roughly from the middle of this roof edge thing. Here I finally have the mana to pretty much finish him off. Almost dead. I decide to go and loot some stuff while he's running away. There are some valuable things you can get from the trash, but all of it have very low drop rates. Earlier today we got a Libram of Constitution, which is worth about 250 gold. So, as you'll notice, I try not to heal up too much, but instead just gather full mana. And so for some reason I decide to eat food here. It might have been before I realized why you should try and keep your health at least not full. Stand on the edge, place down my Mana Spring Totem, and start by chain lightning the adds and kill them off. I try and gather all the melee adds with this chain lightning, and just shoot down these ranged adds with either max rank lightning bolt or rank 4 if they're low on health. And there comes the boss running back and forth. So I try and burst him down to about 45 health, ideally 43 or around there, but be very careful not to go below 40%. Because before that happens, you want to gather enough mana to burn him down really fast. As soon as he hits 40%, he will call his adds. So I'll just keep shooting him, and you can see as soon as he gets out of range, I jump back up and keep shooting, giving me as much time as possible just shooting him. And as you can see, I went pretty much and he's down at 43%, which is very ideal. To do this, you need some kind of add-on to show the health in percentage, otherwise it's just... you can't, like, estimate exactly 40% that well, so just get an add-on for it. As you can see at the timer, I'm now at 11 minutes, and I'm just waiting for for my mana to get back up. Of course, I could have used a potion or a dark mana rune or something, but I decide to just play it safe. Nothing's gonna happen if you keep doing this for a couple of minutes. And as you can see, I'm standing halfway up, but it still runs back. And so as soon as he approaches me, just complete the jump and he'll start running the other way again. And there was a nice close shot of my glowing eyes and helmet. I think I'm going to let him run almost all the way to me and then start bursting him by jumping halfway up again. So I almost let him hit me. He did hit me. You jump half the way up and just start bursting him. And the thing about berserking is that the less health you have, the more it increases your speed. As you can see, I'm shooting pretty fast now. So at full health it's 10%, and at almost no health it's 30%. And you need to shoot at him while he's running away from you, so to speak, and then jump up. Otherwise you won't have the time to kill him. Also, when he hits you, he hits really hard. He actually hits so hard that if you're just trying to finish him off, just a few percent, don't take his hits, because he can kill you in 3 hits, and that will just happen fast. So, as you can see in my bag, I just got the Hand of Justice and I'm done. I'm gonna go over the talents and my gear very soon, and this does require quite good gear. Ideally, it's a farm elemental shaman does when he or she wants to go over to enhancement and is just gathering the final gear. The Hand of Justice is of course very good for Wind Fury procs, so you really need it. As you can see, I have tier 2 helm, I have a good neck from somewhere in Molten Core, some blues, some staff and stuff. And then I use the Shard of the Scale and these rings that are healing rings as well, due to their mana per 5, because they help me not go Otherwise I could have used a different ring or trinket, of course. But as an elemental shaman you do have some mana issues. As for my talents, they aren't too important. You will probably need to be elemental, because it increases your damage by quite a lot. So 31 points in elemental, no in enhancement, and the remaining 20 in restoration. Alright, I hope this guide will be helpful for you. You can also do this farm and just sell the Hand of Justices if you manage to get them to drop. They have something like 5% drop rate, so it's on average 1 in 20 runs. For me it was like 1 in 40 runs, but I got it. So with all this said, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it worked out fine with me just speaking and not reading from a script. Like if you enjoyed, and subscribe, please.